Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Kubaha. I'm an intuitive spiritual facilitator and crystal therapist. I live in northern Arizona. You can find information about my sacred work on my Facebook page and YouTube channel at Mystic Dragonfly Whispers. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about self-improvement to set for spiritual growth. Every January 1st, millions of people chose to commit to their resolutions for the new year. To lose weight, get organized, be healthy, learn a new hobby, career improvement. The list goes on and on. Since my teenage years, I have attempted New Year's resolutions. Not spiritual resolution, just self-improvement, promises to myself. Resolutions are great, but unfortunately, I don't think most of my resolutions survived through January. Some of my New Year's resolutions included stop hanging out with certain people, find good friends, read more, lose weight, exercise, eat less junk food, eat more vegetables, and the list goes on. Do you remember your New Year's resolutions throughout your life? Have some of them stuck? One year I stopped making resolutions and the exercise faded from my annual to-do list until someone would mention their New Year's resolutions and I would think about it for a minute. In the last few years, I have focused on spiritual resolutions by looking at my spiritual growth and relationship with spirit. My strategy has been to think of resolutions as more internal. I don't discourage New Year's resolutions because positive goal setting is important, but adding spiritual depth and significance keeps the focus on spiritual resolutions, which have an enduring impact on your identity and your connection to the divine. You have been probably wondering about what your New Year resolution should be this year, right? Over the years, like most of my friends and family, each new year I set resolutions for myself to become a better version of myself. Some I failed, but thankfully, I succeeded in keeping most of my resolutions, and with each resolution, I enhanced my spiritual growth. If you would like to enhance your spiritual growth in 2023, but are unsure where to start, I'm sharing with you today resolutions that help me to enhance my spiritual growth immensely. Number 1, honor yourself and your body. In the past, I often thought that when you deal with the spiritual, you are dealing with something intangible, non-physical in nature. For me at that time, it seemed logical that I can compartmentalize growth. If I wanted to become more physical or physically healthy, i.e. physically grow, I needed to exercise and eat right. And if I wanted to grow spiritually, I needed to exercise my spirit by meditating and similar spiritual activities. However, over the years, I learned that there are so many aspects of ourselves that make us whole. And only when you are whole and we take good care of yourselves as a whole can we truly grow in every aspect of ourselves, including our spiritual growth. We can't separate the physical from the spiritual. So this new year, I would like to invite all of you to take good care of yourselves, and you do, to honor yourself, your body, and grow. Honoring myself and my body was one of the best New Year resolutions I have set for myself back in 2017. Each year, I would set my goals, intentions, and resolutions, and often they reflected outward accomplishments. I always thought that I can just push through the rough parts, and with enough repetition, I would eventually accomplish my resolutions. Each year, I put myself to follow more restrictive diets, exercise each and every day. Sounds like I was accomplishing my dreams, right? Except I truly was not. This resolution came from what I believed and I should do, not what I needed. And needless to say, after a couple of weeks, months of pushing through at most, my resolutions were abandoned. And even worse, the guilt of not accomplishing them was eating me away. One day, I was getting eaten by guilt because I was not pushing myself hard enough. I asked myself, why is this so hard for me? What do I need to not feel guilty? Why do I feel this guilt? As I was asking myself, I observed myself, and for the first time in a very long time, I started getting in tune with myself. And the more I asked and honored my needs instead of what I thought I was supposed to do, I discovered true joy in my life, became healthier, and grew each day in every aspect of myself, little by little. You see, you can push and push, but eventually you will run out of will, and sheer force won't help you grow. Only understanding and honoring your needs can help you continuously grow all aspects of yourself. So I switched blindly pushing with honoring my needs, my body and my spirit. That meant not following some strict diet, but rather observing what foods sit well with me and which didn't, developing small eating habits that added on to creating my own diet, trying out different exercises, and not having a set exercise routine, but rather just time for moving my body in different ways, spending more time with myself, and becoming overall more observant with myself. In a way, I understood that my inner self should be understood instead of blamed, and instead of shutting it off, I gave my inner self more space to express the needs of my soul. And this was a major transformative experience in my life, the turning point for my spiritual growth, by simply asking myself each day, what do I need? The examples I gave out are just that, examples of what worked for me and how I honor my needs. For you, honoring yourself might look entirely different, and that's completely okay. I recommend that this year, you ask and listen to the best person that can help you out on your spiritual journey, yourself. Number 2, keeping small promises to yourself. Why does everyone struggle so much to make the switch and simply change the way we are to be better, healthier version of ourselves? Well, the truth is that our minds like to keep things predictable for us. The more predictable your life is, the less stress is in it. And so, in your youth, your mind observes thought patterns and picks them up, eventually creating habits that keep you in a loop. The problem is, when you are younger, you are still figuring out the world, and uncertainty, self-doubt, and confusions are a big part of your thoughts. As I thought about this, it became clearer and clearer to me why I felt so lost and out of place through my life. Moreover, I realized that simply deciding today that I will be a different person and starting a couple of new habits that I never did before and sticking to them was something that wouldn't work out like I hope it will. As I explored habit setting, I tried a lot of different methods, but something that really worked for me and helped me build up healthier habits was keeping small promises to myself daily. I decided that no matter what my habit is, I will take some time and space to adapt to it. I would ease myself into each and every habit by keeping one small promise to myself daily. I would get my journal. I would jot down my small promise that will help me set a new healthy habit and stick to it. Whether it was a promise that I would eat one fruit that day to set a habit for eating healthier, or I would simply devote 5 minutes to ask myself what I need and simply listen and understand my needs to honor myself, I would jot it down and stick to it. And what I found was that I didn't need to make a big change at once, but rather small, continuous ones each day to grow. And through those promises and tiny changes, I created healthier habits for myself. I recommend keeping small promises to be one of the New Year resolutions that makes it onto your list. It's life-changing. Number 3, harnessing mindfulness. One of the best resolutions I have set for myself and kept all this time was definitely harnessing mindfulness. In a way, it was the starting point of all the positive changes I have made in my life. Something that has given me both inner peace and joy. 11 years ago, when I started my spiritual journey, something I have struggled with the most was staying in the present moment. For me, everything was about thinking and overthinking every possible situation in the near future and bracing myself for it. However, to achieve spiritual growth, you need to stay here in the present, where life is happening and existing, and simply accept it and enjoy it. Needless to say, this was a real struggle for me. No matter how much I tried, I would be again somewhere in the far, far future that might or might not happen, going through possible and impossible scenarios. Thankfully, I was trying to become more mindful. I also discovered crystal healing, which helped me immensely to keep myself anchored in the present moment. Each day, I would hold my rose quartz, the first crystal that was gifted to me. Take a few moments of simply holding it and feeling its weight on my hand. The beautiful, gentle energy, and suddenly staying present seemed easier. Every time I would feel anxious and I would start spiraling into possible future scenarios, I would simply hold my rose quartz, take a deep breath, and remind myself that I'm here, I'm alive now, and how beautiful that is. Day by day, little by little, I kept harnessing little bits of mindfulness with my rose quartz until I felt I was truly living in the present moment, enjoying each and every breath I took. It was truly a profound experience that set me on my way of personal growth. It's never too late to start. Self-improvement doesn't have to start on New Year. Even if you forget about your resolution at some point in the year, don't be afraid to restart at any time. Lifestyle changes don't happen overnight. Be kind to yourself, learn from the setbacks, and try again. Before you start drawing up your resolutions, take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. Write down what is most important to you and set new objectives that are personally meaningful. Work your systems one step at a time and be sure to enjoy the ride. Thank you for listening. Until next time. Bye for now.